All right, another way to map an image is to draw it ourselves in Blender. So this is useful also for different reasons, and I'll explain a little bit later. But we're going to add another cube and do a different type of mapping, which is, like I said, to draw it right here in Blender. So I'm going to get out of render view if you're in that, Shift Z, and just add a new cube, Shift A, or come up here to the create menu and you can click it right there. So I'm just going to drag this up and over next to the other one. I'm going to get my ground plane, if you have it or not. I'm just going to set it on the plane next to this other one. Okay, for this cube, we're not going to use this image right here, so I'm going to click the X right here and zoom in a little bit. This is my UV image editor window still. And I'm going to, if you don't have that, just click the diagonal markings, click and drag left, and open a new window, and switch it in the viewport right here to UV image editor. Okay, so I've got that right here. In my materials tab, I'm going to click new, and again, instead of the color, I'm going to click the options on this little button right next to the color bar, or on the right side of it, and I'm going to select image texture again. But this time, I'm not going to bring one in from an outside source. I'm just going to draw it right here. So in this window, if you still have the picture of your other cube that you brought in, click the X down here somewhere. And now I'm going to click New to create a new one. I'm going to click here and give it a name. This is just going to be my, I don't know, mapped painting maybe. Paint, map, paint, I don't know what to call it. Map, paint, something. Yeah, doesn't matter. All right, this is the background color. If you click on it, you can make it any color you want. I'm just going to keep it black for now to keep it simple. Click OK, and there, if I zoom out a little bit, there's my image that I'm going to put on. It hasn't been applied yet, even though it is showing black over here. So to get that, it's called Mapped Paint. Click this little drop down right here instead of open, because we're not opening it from a file. We're just clicking right here. I created it. There it is. I've got a couple. Mapped paint. So now it's got it. Now it's black. And we want to change that. So we are going to click this view button and switch it to paint. And then click this plus right here to open up that menu. Here's our paint brush options. So we can pick any color we want. Here's the radius, the size of the brush, and here's the strength. I think it starts at 70%, which is kind of transparent. 100%, I usually bump it up to make it not transparent. I can also do a Control Z in here to undo things that I messed up on. Okay. Also the brackets. I think I showed in the last one. No, I didn't. This is the new one. So there are brackets, just like in Photoshop, if you know Photoshop, and can make the brush bigger or smaller. Underneath the backspace and just to the left, there's a left and right bracket. And as you click those, it makes the brush size bigger or smaller. I like that, so I use it a lot. Or it's just right here, click and drag. So I'm going to get just a bright green color maybe to start. Actually, to start, we need to come back over to this cube, see if you remember how to cut this and mark the seams to unwrap it and get it flat on this image. If I go into edit mode, I'm going to press tab when my cursor is over here, and I've got edge select right here. I'll select the edges to cut it and unwrap it, and I always do 3 on top. And I'm holding down shift and right clicking to select, and then I do all 4 going down the sides. So all 4 vertical edges and then 3 on top, which leaves all of the bottom ones connected. That's my favorite way lately to do it. There's lots of different ways to unwrap it as long as it gets unwrapped flat and it's not all separated. So now I can, now that I've got those selected, I can go to the Shading and UVs tab and click Mark Seams, and then press A once to deselect, a second time to select everything, and then U to unwrap, or it's right here. Unwrap that, and it should show up like this. If it doesn't, if it's sideways, that's okay. You can actually press A over here to select it, or not. What's going on? Oh, maybe it's different with the paint. I don't know. Okay, there it is. I just need to paint on it. So I've got my live view here, material view, so I can see it being painted as I go. And I'm going to hide my plane again, show the bottom, because that's where I'm going to start. I know just from experience this is the bottom right here, and all the sides are connected to it. And so I'm just going to draw arrows which direction point up. And this is the bottom, so none of them are pointing up. So I'm just going to go all 4 arrows, all directions, doesn't matter which way that picture is pointing. So, but now on these it does. I need these to be pointing up. So I'm going to draw an arrow that points up on these. And so this right here, it starts at the bottom, connected to the bottom, and then here's the top. So I'm going to make my arrow go like this, sideways over here, but look, over here it's straight up and down. Same thing up here. And I'm going to choose different colors just to make it interesting. Okay, then I've got the 2 sides over here, another one right here, sideways this way, but it's facing up over here. And then this one is going to be facing down right here because this is the bottom and this is the top. Because when it folds up, this is always the bottom. And so it's going to be upside down here, but as you can see over on the left side, it's facing up. So all those arrows are pointing up. So if we have images, we know that they have to go this direction if we want them facing up over here. And then the top doesn't matter. So let's just add the 4 arrows again. So it can be going any direction at all. And depends on if we rotate this cube or not. And there we go. So I've drawn on this, created my own image, and now it's mapped on depending on where I drew on it. So sometimes what we can do, and we'll do this in the future, is to save the layout before I draw anything. We could even take this layout and bring it into Photoshop and then like have an actual graphics program or app to really paint some things on there, some good things. So or make a good painting. So there's lots of options there, but this, sometimes I bring in an image like this image and I take a brush and I put the strength way down and I just brush over it a light color, and that takes the brightness down on that. So sometimes we edit photos in here that way, so that's a possibility, but that is how we draw our own picture. The last thing is to do this. Go down to the image menu. There's a little star right here. That means that there are unsaved changes. Unfortunately, as we're drawing this, we created this in Photoshop, but it's not saving it automatically, so we need to save it. And the way we do that is click on the image menu and go up to Pack as PNG. What that does, it just saves that as an image to the Blender file. So if I click on it again, that's gone. That's how I know it was packed and saved to the Blender file. And then anytime I make changes to it, if I wanted a different color here, oh, my strength is way down. So if I make changes to this, you'll see that star pop up again by that image menu down here. That means unsaved changes, so I have to pack it as the PNG again. It saves it. Okay, this is also, we should go back. I didn't show this in the other video, and I should have, but we need to pack this image as well. Any image that we bring in. So watch, I'm going to click right here and get the snowy mountain picture. Doesn't matter if you're clicked on it over here or not. It just is showing right here. And if I click image, oh, looks like I already did. If it says pack image or pack as PNG, either one, click that, and that saves it to the Blender file. If you take this, and what that does is if you take this home, for example, if you save it, take it home, if you open it up and you don't have the file on your computer at home, it won't show up here unless you pack it. If you pack it, then it's part of the file. So it makes the file size bigger, but it's worth it because then you can take that image, that file anywhere and still have this image. So pack the image, don't forget to do that. And after you draw your arrows and have it on the second cube, then we're good to go for the cube mapping. So bringing an image in and drawing it yourself.